Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Introduction to Macroeconomics at Ozarka College. Today what I'd like to do is give you just a little bit of feedback on the chapters 19 and 20 activities that I finished grading yesterday. They were due Monday night and I finished grading those yesterday. So that's the first thing I'm going to talk about today. Another thing is we've got our last set of chapter activities due after the Thanksgiving break for chapter 21. So I'm going to kind of briefly talk about that. And then I'm also going to talk just very briefly about the final exam. And that will basically be the remainder of what we will do this semester. So we're very, very close to the end of the semester here. We just have really just a few weeks left, just a few activities left. So let's finish out strong. And most of you really done well this semester, and I've really enjoyed teaching this class this semester. So let's just kind of finish strong through this semester, and we'll be done here in just a few weeks. So let me go back to chapters 19 and 20 activities that I finished grading yesterday. Most of you did well on those activities. There were a few of you that kind of seemed to wait too long to get started, and you just had to get done what you could. The best way to prevent that in the future is to get started a little bit earlier. Like I said, overall, most of you did well. I did notice a problem on one of the questions, I believe it was question 5 on the assignment, and I sent everyone an email about that yesterday. I noticed it when I was grading the assignments yesterday. There were some issues, some errors on the formulas that I gave you for the question where you had to do some calculations, and because of that, as long as you showed your work, your calculations on that question, I gave you credit for that, and I went back and corrected that on the assignment for next time I teach the class. But for this time, the only thing I could do, since it was my error on some of the formulas, is I just gave you credit for that that question on the assignment, as long as you showed your calculations. If you didn't show your calculations, then I counted some points off for that, because in the instructions it said to show your calculations. So anyway, like I said, most of you did well on the assignment and on the test. The discussion that we had that dealt with the primary and secondary effects of the steel tariffs, I thought that went very well. I really enjoyed reading everyone's comments. So keep up the good work on the discussions. Let's see. On the next set of activities that we have coming up due after the Thanksgiving break, you'll notice right now we are on kind of the middle portion of week 14 of the semester. We look on the activities page. We don't have anything else due this week. We just had work due Monday night. We don't have anything. I purposely didn't make anything due during Thanksgiving week. Just kind of give you that week off from having to submit anything. And so our next set of activities, and actually our last set of chapter activities for chapter 21, will be due the Wednesday after Thanksgiving break. So that's specifically December 3rd, Wednesday, December 3rd. Now, for chapter 21, we actually don't have a discussion assigned. So all you have for chapter 21 is just the assignment and the test. So it gives you a little bit of a break so that you have that extra time to study for the final exam. All right? And so chapter 21, by the way, deals with economic development. Okay? So in chapter 21, you're going to learn about the various ways that we classify economic development. When we try to look at a country and kind of determine how developed it is economically, there are different things that we look at, some different classifications. And so we'll look at that. We'll also look at factors which determine the level of economic development. There are some specific things like education level, healthcare, all kinds of things, productivity. There are a lot of things that come into play when we talk about economic development. Also, we'll look at what distinguishes developed countries like the United States from developing countries, like some smaller countries that are still trying to develop economically. All right, there are a lot of those countries out there. So you'll look at that, and then also in chapter 21, we'll look at the role that a lot of those things that I just mentioned, like productivity, technology, education, government, plays in economic development. There are some specific things that government can do, and that particular participants in a particular economy can do to kind of develop economically in a particular country. So we'll look at some of those things that kind of the largest kind of impacts on development of an economy. All right. So that's chapter 21. So remember the resources that you have available. You have your textbook. You have your PowerPoint slides on the assignment page in Miles Arca. You've got your videos that I've linked on the assignment page. So make sure you're using all those resources effectively. And I think most of you are doing that. But just let me know if you have questions as you're working through the chapter 21 activities. Now, December 3rd might seem like it's quite a ways from now. And, our tendency is to just kind of procrastinate and wait until it's closer to being due. But if you really think about it, with that Thanksgiving break in there, that whole week, you're probably not going to want to do much in your classes. And so if you look at it that way, we really don't have as much time as you think. So you're either going to need to work on it this week. If you want your Thanksgiving break free from doing coursework, you're either going to have to get that last set of activities done this week, or work on them early the week after Thanksgiving break. If it was me, I would much rather go ahead and work on it now, and that way you don't have to worry about it after the Thanksgiving break. All right? Now, the only other thing that we'll have beyond the Chapter 21 activities is we'll have our final exam, of course, during final exam week. So it'll be available from December 8th through the 10th, which is Monday through Wednesday of final exam week. And it'll, of course, cover all the chapters that we have covered so far this semester. And so that'll be basically chapters 1 through 21. And I will send out more specific information about the final exam probably either tomorrow or Friday of this week. So be looking for that course mail. And I'll probably also send out a reminder about Chapter 21 just because next week, we won't, I won't be in my office next week. So I'm going to go ahead and send that out the end of this week so you have that reminder. Okay? And that's really all I have for you for today. So enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your Thanksgiving week next week. And I will talk to you again probably towards the end of the week after the Thanksgiving break. So I will talk to you then. Thank you.